welcome back to my channel. My name is Kier Michael, and I'm going to talk to you about how I got his attention. Yes, I got my Instagram crush's attention, and yes, we dated, and yes, he broke my heart. That was my first heartbreak. Yeah, I was really sad. But right now, in this video, which I'm probably going to make three parts to this video, and this first one's going to be about how I got his attention. So if you're trying to get someone's attention on Instagram, even though I don't think you should do it, and I'll get to that later, stay tuned to watch this video because I'm going to explain to you how I got his attention, which it was kind of hard, but it happened so perfectly. It's almost like the law of attraction. Anyways, let's talk about it, sis. So it was my sophomore year of college. So, you know, I was out for 2 years actually. So I've been out of the closet for a while. I'm feeling myself. I'm not at my parents' house. You know, I can do what I want to do. I can be a little nasty. I can go to the club. I can drink. I can party and not get in trouble. Of course, responsibly. All these underage kids that are watching my video, you need to drink and party responsibly. Back to topic. So, sophomore year of college, I was out of the closet for 2 years. I was at the point where I was like, I really want a boyfriend. Like, not just any boyfriend, I want like a fine-ass boyfriend. And where do you find fine-ass men? On Instagram, even though it's all an illusion and a facade. You find those fine-ass men on Instagram, honey. And I had hella Instagram crushes. Like, who does it? So I had this one guy. He was really cute. He was white, black, and Puerto Rican. It's like a package deal right there. I'm not gonna go too much into detail of his looks because I don't want his head to get too big, because I feel like one day he will see this video and he's probably gonna message me and be like, oh my god. And I'm like, yeah, that was you. So he was white, black, Puerto Rican, fine as hell. Like, I was infatuated with him. Like, I was talking to him to my friends, and then come to find out he's in the same city as me, and that's tip number one. So write this down. Tip number one, you need to make sure that they stay in your city. Like, you are not about to move to California or New York to go find some Instagram person. Like, who does that? You don't have time for that. So you need to find Instagram crushes, or find an Instagram crush in your city. So if your Instagram crush is not in your city, it's going to be a little bit harder because you're going to have to move to that city. Like, how else are you going to run into them? How else are you going to meet them? So tip number one, make sure they are in your city. If you can't, or the one that you really want is not in your city, honey, find a new one. There's hella on Instagram, like hella. So get a new Instagram crush. Make sure they're in your city. Tip number two is you need to start going out. Like, you need to be out. You need to be active. You need to be seen. You're not gonna ever see them in person if you are never out and being seen out in person. I never went through his DMs. I never like did all that. Like, I just saw him on Instagram and I like just lusted after him. Nasty. So yeah, you need to start going out. And this might be a little stalkerish, which I never did this, son. I'm not saying I ever did this, so don't think that I did this, but you need to figure out where are they going. And I mean, honestly, if you're gay, there's probably only like 2 or 3 gay clubs in your city. Like, here in Columbus, we have a handful, but mainly just Union and Axis. The fact is, you need to get out. You need to get your face seen. And if you're gay, it's easy for us because we have like 5 places to go to. There's only but so many events. So you need to get your face seen. You need to be out there. You need to be networking. You need to be talking to people. You need to be befriending people so you can be seen. I ran into my Instagram crush 2 times before I ever we ever messaged or talked to each other. And of course I was at a club, and of course I was drunk. That was you. And of course I was a mess. It was you. And of course it was embarrassing. You. But it doesn't matter. You got to see them in person, and seeing them in the light of day is actually good because it helps you to realize, like, okay, they're this tall, they're like this big, because pictures are deceiving on Instagram, as everybody knows. Like, everybody has, you know, good angles, good lighting, and that's the only way that you take pictures now, especially nowadays. Instagram is a whole fucking marketing ploy. You need to get out there, be seen, see that Instagram crush in person, and make sure that their looks match up with their profile picture on Instagram. If they don't, move on to the next one. So that is tip number 2, get out, seen in person so you can see them in person. I saw homeboy while I was drunk, and let me tell you, I embarrassed the fuck out of myself because I was just learning how to drink. So I was getting trashed like all the time. Well, not trash, but it was like to the point where I was like, I kind of like ran up to him. Who does that? And I kind of was like, oh my god, you're blah blah blah, like a fangirl. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I follow you on Instagram. I wonder if my friends remember that night because they were like pulling me away from him because I was really drunk, and they were like, okay, Kier, come on. He knows who you are. You know who he is. Let's keep going. Oh my god. And I think his boyfriend was with him. Awkward. All right, fast forward to the next tip. This kind of isn't a tip because I'm not a big fan of the dating apps anymore. I don't know what that noise was, but whatever, disregard. I matched with him on Tinder a couple months after I saw him in the club, and I'm just like, why is this dude on Tinder? Don't he got like a whole boyfriend and a half? Awkward. His boyfriend wasn't that cute. I don't even know why he was with him. I definitely look better than him. Yeah, he was on Tinder, and I'm just like, wait, what? And of course we matched, and of course he talked about it, and like they broke up recently and blah, 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 blah. It was only like a month since they broke up. So, I'm like, cool, whatever. If you ain't got a man and I'm not gonna be a homewrecker, let's make it happen. Nasty. So yeah, I would say download the dating apps would be my third tip, but you guys know if you've watched any of my previous videos, I am not a big fan of the dating apps because the dating apps are, yeah, they're not dating apps anymore. They're like hookup apps. And if you don't know that, then I don't know what rock you're living under, but the dating apps are hookup apps. And I say that all the fucking time. You're probably tired of hearing me say that. So yeah, we matched on Tinder and then we went on our first date. Yes, I went on a date with my Instagram crush. I was fucking ecstatic. I have never been that like a little girl. More like like I'm gonna talk about how the expectations that I had for him did not match up with the reality of who he really was. Awkward. And that's how you know the pictures on Instagram, the person that you see in person, and then you get to know them, that's not always pretty. They might be pretty on the outside, the pictures might be pretty on Instagram, but once you really get to know them, it ain't pretty. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in my next video where I talk about how the expectation and the reality of dating your Instagram crush might not align, and I'm gonna give you some tips on how to navigate that first date. So a couple takeaways from my story that I want to share to you guys, because you know, I gotta help you live your best gay life. Never say never. You never know who you are going to end up with. I cannot stress how much I used to just infatuate and lust over this guy over Instagram. Not like all the time, like I had a fucking life. But you know, it's always when you see them like your picture or you see them on your feed and you kind of freak out because you're just like, oh my God, like, oh, he's so cute. I can't believe he liked my picture. Like, but like, you are cute. I believe in beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like, you might not think that you are in their league, but you could be in their league because everybody doesn't like the same exact thing. My second takeaway is remember that sometimes the reality does not align with the illusion that is presented on Instagram. Like, I cannot stress that enough, which I think is pretty obvious, but I think people forget because they spend so much time like idolizing these people on Instagram. Who does that? And honey, that shit normally is not even real. That stuff is like so photoshopped and so like just made to look a certain way because you have so much control on Instagram nowadays. You can make yourself look like whatever you want to look like. So that stuff, you don't want to go into the date or go into trying to find your Instagram or meet your Instagram crush in person with that in your head, because you're gonna crush your expectations a lot. Like, they're not gonna align to them. All right, so in my next video, I'm gonna dive in deeper into my first date with my Instagram crush and give you guys more tips and takeaways from that so that when you do meet your Instagram crush and you end up dating them, you know exactly what the fuck you're getting into. My intent is to help the gay community live their best gay lives. It is what I intend to do and it is what I strive to do. For more videos like this, click the subscribe button below and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I make my videos. And remember to be the change you wish to see. Take care.
Awkward. Nasty. I was out and I don't know what rock you're living under. Who does that? Awkward.
Nasty.